Now, Wave 31 Storm Tracker Chief Meteorologist Jeff Castle with 31 Triple Doppler.
See, they got me at better food. That was my favorite part to read.
Yeah, some of it's decent depending on the theater, but
depending. I mean, more salt in the popcorn. It's kind of bland nowadays. I felt like it tasted different when I was a kid, but that's here nor there.
Lots of things tasted different when we were kids.
I agree.
Yeah.
I agree. But what could be different is the weather coming up. Of course, maybe the first day of fall is tomorrow, but does that mean it's going to change?
No, not right away.
Okay.
We will get a change towards the end of next week, so fall is not going to come in with an immediate switch in the weather. The autumnal equinox, though, happening tomorrow, and if you remember from high school science class, that just describes where the Earth is in its orbit around the sun, and that takes place at a specific time. If you want to set an alarm, it's 7:43 in the morning. Maybe you don't want to be up that early on a Sunday. But it will officially roll into fall as we take you on into your Sunday. However, fall-like temperatures are not back yet. In fact, this time of year, it's actually still on average fairly warm in the mid-80s. We're going to be above that, though. We were in the 90s today. We'll be there tomorrow, Monday, perhaps Tuesday as well, before we do start to back off the temperature as we take you through the second half of next week. That will also come with our next best chance for some rainfall. Right now, there's nothing out there on Wave 31 Triple Doppler, and nothing is expected overnight tonight. In fact, skies will remain mostly clear for the area. Now, as we head into tomorrow morning, might see a few patches of clouds come on in, and I think we will have a few clouds tomorrow, but in general, a good bit of sunshine expected. You see that through the lunch hour, and that will be the case through late tomorrow afternoon as well. So your Sunday looks very similar to what we had today around the area. So if you liked how the weekend started, I think you'll like how it is going to wrap up. You may not be liking this, though, as we continue to see increased chances for tropical development in the Gulf of Mexico heading on into next week. Didn't update this. The chance now is up to 70% over the next 7 days that something tropical is going to form here. Now, there's not actually something that we're tracking at the moment, and that's where the forecast gets a little bit tricky as to where, when something does form, it is going to exactly track. That, of course, the million-dollar question. But all the data suggests that something is going to form here in the Caribbean and then move into the southern Gulf of Mexico, it looks like, as we head through next week. Just going to show you a couple pieces of data. We use these computer models to help us prepare the forecast, but they are kind of basically cluing us in to the northern Gulf. This is just one model, 11 o'clock in the evening next Thursday, showing something tropical here near the Big Bend of Florida, the Florida Panhandle area, and another model a little bit behind and also a little bit more to the west, showing by Friday afternoon something coming onshore there in the northern Gulf Coast. The farther west this system is when it strikes land here along the Gulf Coast, the more likely we're going to get impacts out of it. So that's what we're going to be watching around here. A storm that goes into Florida likely would leave us on the dry side of it, but something that comes in, say, around Louisiana, Mississippi, even southern Alabama, depending on the exact path it takes northward, would be more of a rain producer for us. So stay tuned for updates on that. There's still a lot of time to watch and prepare, but you do want to check back with us for the latest, particularly once we get a system that is formed and that we are actively tracking. We'll have a better handle on exactly where it is going to go. Next name on the list, by the way, is Helene, and it does appear likely that will be forming here in the next several days. Oh, for us tonight, though, it stays comfortable and quiet. We'll dip into the 60s by morning. From there, we climb into the mid-70s at 8, upper 80s by the lunch hour. And tomorrow afternoon, light breeze and hot temperatures on the way. You can see everyone will be in the 90s. Highs tomorrow range anywhere from about 90 to 93 in most locations. Here's your Wave 31 Storm Tracker 10-day. It stays hot on Monday as well as Tuesday. And then we do get that change in the weather coming around the middle of next week. Some rain chances initially with a cold front that'll arrive Wednesday into Thursday time frame. And then those rain chances heading into next weekend, those will largely be dependent on what develops and tracks through the Gulf of Mexico. So for now, don't necessarily change your plans based on that forecast for rain for next weekend, but certainly check back with us in the next few days. We'll have a better handle on whether we're going to be on the wet or dry side of a tropical system as it comes inland off the Gulf.
All right, sounds good. Thanks so much, Jeff.
You bet.
Homes for the homeless. Volunteers showed up in Limestone County